Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the seaweed mission. So before we go into the details of what exactly is seaweed mission, let's first try to understand what is TFAC. So this is the institution or this is the organization which has started the seaweed mission. So let's start this video by understanding about TFAC. Then we will move ahead and discuss about what this seaweed mission is all about, and we will also highlight all the benefits which the seaweed could bring to the society or to the environment. So let's start. So the Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council. So how you expand the TFAC? It is basically how it is T for technology, I for information, Forecasting Assessment Council. So this is the overall naming convention of TFAC. Just remember the TFAC in the examination. You need not to know all the abbreviation and their full form, but for your information, just remember this one is related to the Forecasting and Assessment Council, and this is the one which has launched the seaweed mission. So just remember that part. TFAC is an autonomous organization set up in 1988 under the Department of Science and Technology. So which is the department which kind of supervises the working of TFAC? It is your Department of Science and Technology. So this is again an important information for you to remember. And what is its mandate? Why this particular organization or institution has come into being? So the mandate of this particular organization is to look ahead in the technology domain, access the technology trajectories, and support innovation by networked action in select areas of national importance. So what you can get out of this particular definition is that they are the one who are going to work for the technology trajectories of the nation, like the things which are of national importance. What should be their trajectory? What kind of path should the government take or the country as a whole take in order to leverage all these technologies? So this is the mandate, this is the function of the TFAC. This is the organization which has now started the mission known as the Seaweeds Mission. What is this mission is all about now? So let's just quickly see that too. So out of the global seaweed production, 52 million tons fresh weight valued around 12 billion US dollar. China produces 57% of it, Indonesia 28%, followed by South Korea, whereas India is having a mere share of 0.01 to 0.02%. So this is the context. Now remember it. You don't have to again remember all the like the dollar amount and something. This kind of data you won't be able to remember in the examination. But what you can remember is that China is the leading producer. China is the leading producer. That is something you could remember. And in the comparison, just also see that the share of India in the seaweed production is only at the level of 0.01 to 0.02%, which is like very mere share of it, like it's peanut. So just remember this data. This is going to help you when you're writing about the seaweed mission or you're talking about the importance of seaweed in the economy and why India is starting with the seaweed mission. So just remember this. Now let's just quickly see what is the seaweed mission is all about. So it has been launched for the commercial farming of seaweeds and its processing for value addition towards boosting the national economy. So this is the idea. This is going to be the commercial farming. So just remember now the commercial farming of seaweed will be encouraged or will be promoted under the seaweed mission. What it envision, what kind of activities would be done under this particular mission? So establishing a model demonstration farms over 1 hectare for cultivation of economically important seaweeds in near shore and onshore along the Indian coast. So this is something like there will be demonstration farm, model demonstration farm along the coast of India, 1 hectare of land where the economically viable or economically beneficial seaweed varieties would be grown. It will also establish seaweed nurseries so that the seed and all the kind of requirement would be taken into consideration. Establishment and demonstration of processing technologies and recipes for edible seaweeds in line with consumer acceptability or cultural food habits. So seaweed is something which India as a food habit does not eat much, but if you go into the other East Asian countries, they eat seaweeds like in various forms, like for an example in sushi and all they have the seaweed. So So in that regard, you can understand that the cultural food habit, if we are able to imbibe them, if we can develop processing technology or recipe which could deliver the taste buds for the Indians, it will also make it economically more beneficial. There will be also an activity on seaweed cluster development, including value chain development, supply chain development, collection of data on environmental, economic, and social impacts of seaweed projects in the country. So basically, a cluster development approach will also be a part of the seaweed mission, in which there will be supply chains which will be formed. Apart from that, there will also be a study, a data collection or data analysis on what kind of impact the various seaweed projects are going to have in terms of the environment, social and economic impact. So this is something again which has been highlighted. So this is something which will be a part of seaweed mission. So what we have discussed so far, what all going to be there. So basically there will be what is called as the demonstration farm. So there will be demonstration farms, right? Apart from demonstration farms, what will be there? There will be technologies, processing technologies and recipes, so that it could be something which will make seaweed more consumption friendly. Then there will be cluster development for seaweeds. So these are the things, these are the parts and parcel of how the seaweed mission envisioned the development of commercially growing of seaweed in India. So just remember, we are talking about the commercial growth. Now let's just quickly also see what are the advantages. So there is an estimate. So just this is an example. Now this is a good example. You can quote it in your examination. So by an estimate, if seaweed cultivation is done in 10 million hectares of 5% of exclusive economic zone. Now what is exclusive economic zone? So basically this is the zone under the UN clause, United Nations Convention on Laws of Seas, in which the territory, in this particular territory, 200 nautical miles from the territorial boundary, over there they do not have any sovereignty in terms of the political means, but they can still utilize the resources. So this is your EEZ. I have already made a video on UN clause. Go ahead and check out on our YouTube channel. Okay, so this is already we have discussed, so I will not delve deep into it. So the idea, the thing that we have to discuss over here is what this particular thing means for the seaweed cultivation. So a study has found that if 5% of the exclusive economic zone is used for the seaweed cultivation, what kind of impact it could have? So it could provide an employment to 50 million people, which is again a very good thing. India is struggling with the problem of unemployment. If we could provide employment to the people, this is a win-win scenario. Set up a new seaweed industry. So India would be able to set up the whole industry, improve its share in the international trade, contribute to national GDP. So that is also again economically going to be very beneficial. It will also enhance ocean productivity. Why? Because seaweeds are the food which are eaten by the other marine organism also. It will abate the algal bloom. So the problem, so the one of the major reason why seaweeds are important is because of they being acting as a bioindicator. So they kind of remove the iron from the water, which is a heavy metal associated in the water bodies. So it is has the capacity to remove the heavy metal from the water. It can remove, and that is why it is something which has been proposed by the various environmentalists also to improve the quality of water in the marine ecosystem. So, and because the quality of water is improved, so it will reduce the idea or reduce the occurrence of what is known as algal bloom or the process of eutrophication. So this is something you must have read in your environment. The process of eutrophication, which leads to the problem of algal bloom and cause a lot of damage to the water body. So in that regard, seaweed also help in abating this problem. It will sequester million of tons of CO2. So seaweed is also very helpful in what you can consider as the carbon sequester. So it acts as carbon sequester. It can reduce the CO2 from the atmosphere, and in general will help to reduce the global warming. So CO2 cause the global warming. So if the seaweed is able to sequester CO2, which means that it is helping in reducing the global warming. So this is again something which has been highlighted. It could produce bioethanol of 6.6 billion liters. So 5% of the exclusive economic zone, if used for seaweed cultivation, it will be able to produce bioethanol of 6.6 billion liters, which means again that will help in reducing the import dependency on the crude oil. So these are the benefits. So it is actually like really it has multiple benefits associated with it, and that is why this particular TIFAC organization has come up with the idea of seaweed mission. This is important. This is important from your government schemes perspective. This is also important from your biodiversity and environment perspective, like how seaweed is important, and this is also important from the idea of how the environmental green economy we are trying to build our country. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.